I always do a talk on stoneware at the beginning of every party because to me stoneware is the most unique product that the Pampered Chef sell. You can buy knives and saucepans in department stores. Obviously they won't be as amazing as the Pampered Chef's knives and saucepans, but you can buy them. Stoneware you can't buy anywhere else. So it is completely unique, it's exclusive, and it's here for one night only. So always do a little talk. Now, stoneware comes in all sorts of shapes and sizes in our Pampered Chef range. There are a couple of places you can buy a pizza stone, but you won't find any other stoneware in all the shapes and sizes that we do. So, if you'd like to open your brochures to where I've placed the order form, you will be able to see our lovely Pampered Chef range of stoneware. So, there's a double page of stoneware in the natural, and actually if you look on the page before there's also a page of glazed stoneware. So the difference being the glaze, some people prefer the look of it, some people prefer the feel of it, but actually some people prefer the look of the natural as well. So really it depends on the type of cooking you're going to do as to which pieces will suit you best. There's only one piece that comes in both natural and glazed, and that's this piece here. This is my favourite piece of stoneware. So this piece comes in both. But otherwise, generally, it's going to depend on the cooking you're doing as to which piece you end up with, whether it's glazed or unglazed. Now, you may have noticed in the brochure, it looks a lovely sandy colour, rather unlike this. So, first of all, they say the blacker it looks, the better it cooks. So you need it to go this colour. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned, but I have a bit of OCD. So when I went to that party, and I was going to look at the lady's house, and they started talking about stoneware, and I saw that it went all sort of different colours and a bit mottled and strange and wasn't uniform. That completely put me off. So I thought, oh no, you can keep that. Started looking around the house a bit more. But basically, this is the seasoning that makes it go this colour. It's part of the seasoning process. Now what happens is, for the first 6 uses, you use some kind of oil or fat. Not olive oil. Olive oil I find is a bit sticky, has a different burning temperature, so I wouldn't recommend olive oil, but any other kind of oil, whether it's vegetable oil, sunflower oil, Trex is very good, vegetable fat, if any of you have heard of that, butter, anything like that, just for the first 6 uses. Obviously if you're cooking something that's quite greasy already, if you're doing a whole roast chicken or something, then there's going to be plenty of fat in the skin to season it anyway. So that's just for the first 6 uses, and after that you don't need to use any oil whatsoever. So, each piece of stoneware, this is where I rummage around in my pockets, da, 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 da. Each piece of stoneware comes with one of these, this little brown scraper, and this and some warm water is all you need to clean your stoneware. So basically you don't use washing up liquid. You can use any type of scourer. I use, you know, a green Scotch-Brite scoury thing, or, you know, sponges, a J-cloth, whatever you want. You can use any type of cleaning utensil, but you just don't use washing up liquid. Like I said, that was where I kind of switched off, because I thought, oh, it looks a bit manky and you don't use washing up liquid. But it is amazing, it is magic, and I fell in love with it, so bear with me. Basically, I went to that party, completely switched off. Next day, I'd been bought a new mixer by my uncle. Had bought me a new fancy mixer, pink one. And I thought, what am I going to christen my mixer with? What's the first thing I'm going to cook? And I thought, you know what? I'm spending a lot of money at Marks and Spencer's maintaining this figure on those giant chocolate chip cookies. You know, the pack of 5 for £2? So I thought, right, I'm going to learn how to make giant chocolate chip cookies so I can eat them to my heart's content. So I went onto YouTube and I watched a video. And at the end of the video, she was a really good video actually, at the end of the video, she went, and then you place it on your stoneware. And I was like, that's that manky stuff they were talking about yesterday. Twice in 24 hours I've heard about the stoneware. Never heard of it before. So I decided it was a sign. I was meant to become a Pampered Chef consultant, because you get 2 pieces of stone in your kit. You get the pizza stone, which we're using later tonight as well, and a square version of this. So I thought, right, I'm going to give it a go. So I became a Pampered Chef consultant and I made a lot of cookies. Just for experimental purposes, obviously. So I made cookies on the stone, cookies on the baking paper, cookies on the metal trays. I mean, I tried everything, just, as I said, for experimental purposes. Just try it out. And that's what sold me. I now own every single piece of stoneware. I do love it. We use it practically every night in our house. I've trained my husband, Randy, how to use it. Can you believe that? Oh man, called husband, I'm called Randy. Yes, never a dull moment. Anyway. So we use it all the time and I love it, and you do have to get your head around the fact that you don't use washing up liquid, but once you do, it will change your life. It is amazing, it is magic. So first of all, let me tell you about why this is so amazing. First of all, as I said, you don't use any oil, nothing sticks, literally things just slide off. So you can do fish fingers and your kids will say, Mum, I never realised fish fingers had breadcrumbs all the way around. Because you won't leave a layer stuck to the tray like you do with normal fish fingers. You know, like the metal trays, you end up leaving a layer and they're half naked when you serve them up. So you get all your breadcrumbs for your money with the stoneware. So nothing sticks. Now the other thing I love about this stoneware is how many people cook sausages. Put your hand up if you cook sausages. No vegetarians here then. Right, so before stoneware, pre-stoneware, I used to put my sausages in the oven and I'd go off for 10 minutes and then I'd come back, they'd be nice and brown on top. So then I'd turn them all so the raw strip was facing up, go off for another 10 minutes, come back, turn them all, go off for another 10, every 10 minutes, backwards and forwards, and then I'd get to that last raw strip, I'd turn them all and then they'd roll. And then you couldn't get them to face upwards, can you? That underneath's cooked, and they just roll everywhere. So then you get the sausage and you place it up against the sausage next to it, and you're trying to balance them and lean them up against each other, and then literally you get them all perfect. You lift the tray up to put it on the shelf, and then they roll everywhere. So this saves all of this. It's called the bung and shove technique. You just bung it in the stoneware, shove it in the oven, and it cooks all the way around. Roast potatoes, everything. No need to turn them, they just cook all the way around. So it circulates heat. Apparently, it's called cyclothermic cooking. Sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah, I only learned that phrase a couple of weeks ago. Sounds good. But anyway, it's to do with how it circulates the moisture around the food and it cooks evenly all the way around. So again, cooks completely evenly. So if you were doing brownies, for example, wouldn't be soggy in the middle and crispy around the outside, it would be completely evenly cooked all the way through. So if you burn anything, it burns evenly. No arguments. So perfect. Now, no transfer of flavours. Even though people worry about the fact that you're not using washing up liquid, I should just point out, you do clean it. Some people here don't clean. You do clean, you just don't use washing up liquid. So you can clean it with your warm water. And if you do something that's quite greasy, just use some kitchen paper to wipe off the excess grease. Do clean it, but there's no transfer of flavours. So you can cook fish on it, you can cook flapjacks on it, and you won't get fishy flapjacks. Isn't that reassuring? No fishy flapjacks. So now also, it cooks meat really beautifully, really juicy and succulent, but then it cooks crispy things really crispy. So if you're doing oven chips and fish fingers and things like that, they come out lovely and crunchy, but the meats come out very juicy and succulent. It's very clever, very clever. Now, how many people here have made Yorkshire puddings before? Honestly, as in not taken them out of the freezer, but actually made them. Ooh, I'm impressed, well done. So, as you all know, when you make your Yorkshire batter, you mix up your batter and then you put it in a very hot pan with boiling hot fat.
Okay.
So basically tonight I am going to make Yorkshire puddings with absolutely no oil in a room temperature pan, just to show you how it works. It is amazing. So yes, it's magic, and I'm going to show you tonight, and that's how we're going to fill in the cream and top with melted chocolate. Because there's no fat in the Yorkshire, so we've got to add it in somewhere. One thing to remember, it will go in, stoneware will go in the fridge, the freezer, the oven and the microwave. Obviously you need a bigger microwave to fit this in. Yes, so the smaller pieces will fit in the microwave. But you never take it out of the freezer and put it straight into the oven, because it will get thermal shock and crack from the temperature change. So that's why everything goes in at room temperature. So even with these Yorkshires, we're not going to have a boiling hot pan, we're going to put them in at room temperature. So everything at room temperature. It saves you time because you're not having to preheat a tray. You know when something says place on a preheated baking tray? With stoneware you don't. You just put it straight in the oven at room temperature. So it saves you having to wait for it to preheat as well. You just bung and shove it in the oven. So yes, it'll go in all of those things, but you have to be careful of the temperature change. For the same reason, you wouldn't put it on the hob or under the grill, because you'll end up with a thermal shock and it will crack. Now, if it does crack in the oven, Pampered Chef offer a 3-year guarantee. Could you imagine walking into a department store after 2 years saying I broke it and want another one? They would point you in the direction of the till. But with the Pampered Chef, you can send a piece back or you can send a photo in and they will send you a brand new stone for 3 years, for up to 3 years afterwards. So it's guaranteed for 3 years. You won't get that anywhere else. I think it's amazing. So that's the guarantee. Now, let me just check my little checklist. because I've been doing this 3 years. 3 years. And I still don't remember if I've done everything, so let me just check that I told you everything. Obviously it cooks underneath as well as on top, very healthy. In fact, this piece here that I've been holding up, this is my favourite piece, as I said. I've actually got 3 of these. 3. Beautiful. The reason it's one of my favourite pieces is it's the most versatile. You can do shepherd's pie, lasagna, brownies, roast potatoes, roast vegetables. I do a beautiful Nigella recipe that's like a dauphinoise potato without the cream, and then you put a leg of lamb on top, stabbed with garlic. It's gorgeous, and it's got like bay leaves and thyme sprinkled in between. Delicious. Do all sorts on here. Whole roast joints of meat, brilliant. So as I said, the leg of lamb, but also chickens, all that sort of thing. You can do curries, you can do bolognese. There's so much you can do in it. It's very, very versatile. In fact, I did a party recently, forgot my pizza stone. We were doing a ring. So I actually cooked on the upside, on the underneath of it. So I needed a flat surface, so I used the other side. Wing it, always wing it. So brilliant, there's so much you can do with it. So this is my sort of favourite piece that I'd recommend that you start off with. So that's that one. Pampered Chef basically recommend that everybody does at least has at least 2 pieces. I say fill your boots. I have got the lot. Obviously there are some pieces I use more than others, so as I said, I'm happy to advise. The other thing that this is brilliant for is you can do a whole cooked breakfast. So you put your sausages in, no need to turn them, add your bacon, mushrooms, tomatoes, hash browns, everything all in one dish. Put it in the oven. When it's ready, take it out. It's all saved on washing up because it's all in one dish. Take it to the table. Stays nice and warm for about half an hour, so it keeps your food warm. So if people do want seconds, if it hasn't all gone on the first round, then it keeps it nice and warm as well. So there you go. I think I've told you everything. But yes, if you've got any questions, let me know. I'm happy to advise you on which piece would suit you best.